Boom, we are live. Good evening, good evening. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to join and give me a chance to post some links out. If you're just joining us, you're not sure what the emergency stream is about, Gary Rowett has tonight left Millwall Football Club. I'm not sure whether it's by mutual consent. Richard Calley just said resigned. The club have released a statement. It is official. It is not a hoax. Gary Rowett is no longer the manager of Millwall Football Club. Wow. I don't know why I'm so shocked and surprised, but I am very shocked and surprised, especially at the timing of it. And someone just sent me a voice note, and it's very, very true. They said if they let him go by mutual, that must mean they've got someone else lined up. They have. The club said, yeah. The club have said, there you go, confirmed by Mrs. G. The club have said we've got someone else lined up?
No, by mutual.
Yeah, but we've got someone. No. Do you know I'm live?
Oh, sorry. Mutually agreed to part.
Yeah, but my mate just said to me that if we've agreed to let him go mutually, we must have someone else lined up. Hopefully, that's all right. There's only 150 people watching. Then that could be Kevin Muscat. Hopefully, because Kevin Muscat is, of course, in I'm going to say Malaysia or something like that. But he had been in contention for the Rangers job. I don't think he's going to get that, which could be good news for us. If you just joined the stream, you have no idea what is going on. Gary Rowett has tonight left Millwall Football Club. He's had the whole international break to do it, and so have the club. And it's gone to well, I've filmed the preview earlier as well and gone out to members tonight, so that's fucked. So I have to refilm that now tomorrow because that changes everything. Gary Rowett has left Millwall Football Club. And my phone is going absolutely crackers. I've just gone live. I posted a stream to some of the boys to come live with me. So just waiting for someone else to jump into it. We've just had a lovely Domino's in here. And we sat down, a couple of beers. I've been cleaning all day. My boys here as well. We sat down, watching it in between us. And I've got a notification on my phone. Here he is now. What do you reckon? Decent. And we just literally had a Domino's, just watching a bit of the in-betweeners. And all of a sudden, I've got a notification. I've looked on my phone. It says, Millwall Football Club, first team. They can see you in the reflection. Oh. They can't really. He's calling me a wanker. He's probably right. But look, was you calling me a wanker or Rowett? Was you calling me a wanker or Rowett? Oh, me. Thank you very much. Here you go. This is what happens when you go live. Everyone's jumping in the stream. And literally, them two either side of me that have already been in the stream jumped up and cheered. Gary Rowett has left Millwall Football Club. Look, I never wanted him in the first place, but now he's gone. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Do we need to be careful what we wish for? Let's go to the comments. There was already 236 of you in the stream. And I don't have my glasses. Get in there, says Kevin Ears. Kevin Ears, you probably got big ears. Go for Muscat, said Tom. I've already said it, Tom. I wonder who's going to come in. Yeah, I don't. A lot of people saying could be Adam Barrett. I'll be over the moon with Kevin Muscat, of course, to come in. A lot of people just going, moo, promote Nugent, says Alfie Hurley. Let's have a look on the Twitter, see what we can get. Gary Rowett has said, to quote Jake Sanders, as sometimes in the case in football, it just feels right to part ways. Let's get that on the screen, though. Let's get what we're all talking about on the screen. I'm sorry, I'm making graphics as we're talking. I'm not sure if Steve Lees is on the stream. Stephen, if you wouldn't mind, mate, if you are in, could you maybe listen for us? What I did time at the club, etc., etc. That would be good. I'm just waiting for some boys to join me. If you want to join me, if you know me and you've got my phone number and you actually want to join the stream, then I'll let you in to have your say. It ain't a problem. Obviously, I'm not going to post my phone number. But yeah, there you go. Gone live, and I will do a video more in detail tomorrow, of course. But right here, right now, Gary Rowett has just resigned, or he's parted ways with Millwall Football Club. It's just been quoted by Jake Sanders on Twitter as saying, sometimes in football, as is the case, it just feels right and the right time to do it. And it has happened. Gary Rowett has left Millwall Football Club. We're reacting to the news live. and I'm uploading graphics. So bear with me. Have a chat in the comments. I've posted the link into the Lions TV WhatsApp group. Lucky I left my dominoes. I wasn't on. I've been ready for it. But I've just literally jumped up. Right, here it is. Right, here we go. I need to make a few graphics here. So I'm going to post this on the screen for now. Bang. There you have it. Millwall Football Club confirm that Gary Rowett is no longer the manager of the club. I'm going to read. Did you say? Yeah, there's a full statement which I'm going to read very shortly. But right here, right now, I'm going to write down a title for the screen to come at the bottom. Mutually agreed. Was it his more decision? Was it the club's decision? I don't think that the Norwich game, it was written all over his face. You know, he's mentioning the family thing, being away from his family for a long amount of time. And now it's done. James Berylson. Big decision for him. Sorry, I'm just typing and I'm writing. And I'm hoping Joe O'Mara or Peter O'Mara or someone or Kenny or Chitty or Connor or Kieran, if you're watching, boys, someone come and help me out. I'm absolutely flying solo with 335 people on the stream. And no help, no graphics, no preparation. But we'll go with it. How do I feel about this? Well, I'm going to be honest. I think it was time for a change. One of the biggest things that just jumps into my mind straight away is the fact that, let me get it off the screen for a second, is the fact that my weekends are not as enjoyable anymore, for one. And even, the league situation has been okay, but we just never have them cut runs anymore, do we? Under Rowett, we just never, ever have the cut runs under Rowett because there's just not a lot of excitement. He wouldn't go for the juggler of these teams. Right, I'm just writing I'm trying to type, sorry. But if you are just joining us, Gary Rowett has left Millwall Football Club on mutual consent. Has he been manager for just over 4 years? I don't know, look, it's big. It's happened once during the channel's existence. Of course, that was Neil Harris. Neil Harris left at a time, and I didn't really want Neil Harris to leave. I thought he was doing all right. Previous to that, I had said maybe it's time for a change, but I never said Harris out. I said Rowett out a long, long time ago. And I said I've become accustomed to life under Gary Rowett. I've been Rowetty. I'm just used to what it is. And he seems to have, well, he wouldn't have walked. They're definitely, by mutual consent, maybe he's gone to the board and said, you know what, I want to get home sort of thing. And they've agreed to pay him off. He won't have outright walked. I think he got a new contract last year, did he? But look, this is it coming out of SE16 tonight. The pantomime that is Millwall Football Club. I always say if they chose a football club to base like a reality show on, it will be Millwall, because there is never a dull moment. Unfortunately, to someone who said, Jared, our sponsor, just said terrible decision to shit on what I just said a little bit. There is never a dull moment of Millwall. There has been dull moments under Rowett, and enough's enough. He's gone. Someone's saying, is he going to go to West Brom? I didn't even know there was managerless. I'm sure Carlos Cobran's the manager last time I checked. They won their last game 4-0. I didn't know I won 4-0 recently. I've been doing all right. So I don't know where we are. I really don't know. It's 366 here live in the stream. Thanks for joining us. I've literally just jumped off the sofa and I've come and gone live. I've posted links to get other boys to join me, hopefully, for the stream. And we're going to learn together as we go. I'm going to read the statement very shortly. I'm just going to put some graphics on the screen that confirms what we're going to be talking about. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Have a chat in the comments. And I'm operating without my fucking glasses as well, by the way. Right, that's done. Right, okay. Now I can fucking talk. Make that scroll and add it. I'm talking to myself here. You'll see I'm changing the screen now. There you go. Gary Rowett leaves Millwall Football Club. It's all going on here. By mutual consent. Let's go back to that. We're up to 400. Graham Potter, Jesse Marsh, Nathan Jones, Kevin Muscat. Was what one of my mates just said in one of the WhatsApp groups. One of my mates said as well, made a very good point. I just listened to it before I come live, that to let him go or to come to this decision when we have, Neil Harris is coming back. Forgot about Chopper. Did you imagine it? Could you imagine Neil Harris coming back? What would you feel about that? Let me know in the comments. Let me know you'd like to see managers in the comments. Let us know in the comments if you would like to see Gary Rowett remain as the manager of our football club. This is the glory of live streams. We are live. 443 of you. Oh, someone said Steve Bruce. Please no. Right. No, fucking, I took me on some fucking link here about shopping. I don't want to shop at the Millwall Football Winter Range. Sorry, fuck off. Right. Here we go. So I'm going to read this statement now that's just come through from the club. Tweeted 38 minutes ago. It don't seem that long ago. It took that long to set it up. Anyway, Millwall Football Club can confirm it has mutually agreed to part company with first-team manager Gary Rowett. The 49-year-old has been in charge of the Lions for 4 years after taking over as boss in 2019, October. During that time, Rowett has elevated Millwall's standing within the Championship and led the club to top half finishes in each campaign, regularly challenging for a place in the playoffs along the way. We greatly appreciate Gary's cheers, Gareth. We greatly appreciate Gary's efforts throughout his time in charge, and he departs with the best wishes of everybody connected with the club. Lions chairman James Berylson said, "While my time working directly with Gary has been short, I've thoroughly enjoyed all our interactions, and feel that he leaves us having enhanced the club's on-pitch status during 4 successful years in charge." Rowett added, "Firstly, I'd like to thank the fans for all their support. During my time at the club, the atmosphere they create is truly unique, and I murdered that." And I'm joking, that's not in there. "I have thoroughly enjoyed being manager of Millwall and depart with a feeling that the club has progressed during my tenure. As it's sometimes the case in football, the time just feels right to part ways. I would like to thank John Berylson, James, Steve Kavanagh, Alex Aldridge, my backroom staff and everyone behind the scenes for their hard work and support. Finally, I'd like to extend my gratitude to the players who I thank for the blood, sweat and tears that they have put into their efforts. It has been a successful and enjoyable 4 years." And then that's the end of the quotes. And it says, "A comprehensive recruitment process is already underway as the club look to build upon the success Rowett has overseen. While that is ongoing, current assistant manager Adam Barrett will take caretaker charge of the senior squad and will be assisted by first team coach Paul Robinson." That's left back Paul Robinson that Rowett brought in. It's not Paul Robinson, Millwall legend, who is first team assistant, under 21s team assistant. And then James Berylson has added a quote, "In Adam and Paul, we have 2 excellent coaches who I know fans will really get behind during their time in the caretaker charge. They have my full support as we take the necessary time to secure the appointment, which is the best interests of the club." Wow. Big news tonight coming out of SC16. There you can see it, and I've just read it. 509 of you are watching. Gary Rowett has left Millwall Football Club by mutual consent. As it stands, Adam Barrett will become caretaker manager with Paul Robinson, the old West Brom left back who's first team coach. He will be helping him with proceedings. And just like that, Rowett's gone. Did he walk? Was he pushed? Was it a bit of both, like the club said? That's what the official statement says, but obviously other stuff goes in. I heard and know absolutely nothing about this. Sometimes I go, well, I've heard this and I know something, but I'm not going to say, and I might tell a few people close to me, but I would never post it. I absolutely did not have a first inkling that this was going to happen, but it has happened, and Gary Rowett is no longer the manager of Millwall Football Club. The process begins to replace him. This is the second time this has happened since Lions TV began 8 years ago. 8 years ago. Was it really 8 years ago? March 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. It'll be 8 years in March next year. 7.5 years, one managerial change. And I've got to say, regardless of whether we liked him or not, and whether we appreciate his football and his tactics or not, we definitely didn't go in terms of structure and league positions / finishes. We didn't go backwards under Rowett. We didn't go down under Rowett. We got a lot more stabilised and we got a lot less interest in football, and the Millwall watermark, the Millwall way, the identity of the club did seem to be slipping away. And I don't think he's ever really, strongly in favour with loads and loads of people. Oh, Kenny is in. I'm going to take that off because I can see you smiling already. You can't see him yet. You can now. All right,
How
mate?
you doing? You all right?
Yeah, you're a bit quiet.
All right, 2 secs. Hang on.
Oh, hang on. Sorry. Talk again.
Hello.
You're not quiet. I had my volume turned down earlier because I was editing and I filmed, and they both listened to me film, and then I edited, and they was like, "Fuck's sake, turn that down." We've already listened to it once.
I apologise about the background. It's more like an emergency meeting.
Oh, exactly. Mate, we was on the sofa. I just said, had a bit of dominoes, just had in between us on. They were scrolling, and I was just sitting there watching the telly. And I've looked to Millwall Football Club, first team. I was like, I still at that point thought, well, it's not going to be that. It's going to be like, I don't know, Barrett's left for personal reasons or something. And I was like, fuck. They went, yeah. I'm assuming you did as well. And I just run straight in here and started a stream.
I'll be honest with you, he's gone up in my estimations a little bit, just by leaving.
You like him now?
Yeah, I think I've always been really critical of Gary Rowett, and I've never wanted him to be our manager, and I didn't really want him to be our manager during his tenure. What I can't argue with is the stability that he provided, and things like that. He done very, very well to steady, in my opinion, an already anchored ship, really, in my opinion. But he's still done well to steady it. The problem is that we've gone stale.
Yeah, agree.
And with his style of football and the way he operates, you're never going to get us out of that. We're never going to get out of that dip. And I've been saying it for years, but he's done the right thing by the football club there. And I'll be honest with you, we commended Neil Harris for doing that, and I think we should for Rowett, to be honest. He's understood that he's taken the club as far as he can. The club have realised that as well, so well done to the club. And they've had a mutual agreement.
Yeah, that's exactly that. Is it a mutual agreement or is it a mutual agreement? For those that are listening tomorrow on podcast, we're actually doing like the little air quote emoji thing there. You just echo really everything I just said. It's a very dangerous game in football where you have a manager that does well for you. He goes, and then another one comes in. And you see a lot of clubs just capitulate. He has actually. I just said exactly what you said before you came on. That he has kept us at that level.
Yeah.
But, as structure wise and league positions wise, we've not been fighting relegation. We've not gone down. We've stayed there, but it did come to the point. Like the perfect word you just used there, in my opinion, was it's gone stale. The identity seemed to be slipping out of the club. I think it's only a matter of time. It just seems very strange it's happened now. I mean, they've had that whole, well, it's only 2 weeks, but they've had that whole international break to sort that out, and they haven't. And it will be very interesting to know, but I don't suppose we'll ever find out whether it was mutual or whether he made the first move or whether he could potentially be going somewhere else. I don't know. Someone said he could go to West Brom, but I'm pretty sure they've got a manager.
I mean, does the international break give certain players the opportunity to maybe express their views a bit more of what they're not happy about? Maybe speak to certain different people because the schedule's not as as busy. And all of a sudden,
I get what you're saying there. Exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
Players are on the way. He's actually sat in his office, sat around and thought, do I actually want to be here? Or, is it time now to have a chat with the chairman?
Yeah, I mean don't forget.
Harris, they tried to talk Harris into staying. Maybe, I don't know, maybe he had said something and during the start of the international break, and maybe they tried to talk him round. I would assume that it would be more Rowett's decision than the club's. The club wants stability. He does give us that, regardless of the dull football. You stop going. I've spoken to loads of people who stop going and won't go until he's gone. Yep. So now we can all go to Preston on Saturday for an 12:30 kickoff. That's good.
Perfect.
But yeah, it's a difficult one, mate. I don't want to be accused of starting rumours. I won't name my friend that just messaged me. He's just messaged me. Apparently, Scott Parker's been seen down at the training ground. That could be complete waffle. I'm not starting any rumours. But who replaces him now, Ken?
Yeah, no, I haven't
got a clue. Replace him?
I haven't got a clue. to me, usually what you do is you wait until there's 2 or 3 options, don't you, that come out in the press, and then you go like we did last time with, what was it, Ainsworth, Rowett, and someone else, and you go, well, I think we actually went, no, fucking, we don't want none of them, but you go, well, that one might do. I mean, don't get me wrong, Scott Parker for his history is probably not a good idea, but on his values would probably be quite good for Millwall. But I don't know who would replace it. What I do know, and what I can tell you, is whoever does come in, we will definitely see a more attacking Millwall. And I think that someone like James Berylson, who's, he's a younger guy, so he's probably all about watching social media and, looking at the Twitter feeds, maybe even watching this and every now and then and stuff like that, realising that people aren't happy, and maybe he's starting to learn the Millwall ethos, realising that people aren't happy. And I think that his next signing, so to speak, as a manager, to bring a manager in, is extremely important for Millwall, as important as what it's ever been.
Yeah. Especially as his first appointment in management. Obviously, a lot of people saying Neil Harris is available. There was sort of Kevin Muscat going to Rangers. Doesn't look like Muscat's going to now get that job. And I think he'd come in second to get that job. So Muscat could be one. But I tell you what will be very interesting to see going forward now is the manager we get in. We know we haven't always got big budgets. The January transfer window is obviously 3 months away. So he's now got whoever comes in, whoever soon it is, they've got to now try and get us playing in a way that we want to play. The fans want us to play. Very different to how Rowett got us to play. It'll be interesting to see now if the players can actually pull that off, or whether Rowett was potentially right and some of our players, especially at the back, aren't great footballers. You know what I mean? Can't play out. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens going forward.
I think that I'll tell you one person that does spring to mind when you say who would you having the job, even if it was on a temporary basis. For people saying Neil Harris, like for me, I'm totally against that. What I would do, don't get me wrong, if Harris wants to come in as a striker coach, something like that, then no problem. But like as far as a manager in the Championship, he couldn't do it in League One with Gillingham anymore. Yeah. So how's he going to do it with a Millwall in the Championship? But I'm going to sort of make myself sound stupid here. I'd invite Callum Davidson back.
It's been said there in the comments by a few people. I think with the where was it? It was Charles Stowell. There he is. Callum Davidson. Yeah, of course. And I know for a fact that the players really liked. I'm not saying they didn't like Gary Rowett, but I know that he had a lot the respect to the players, and he was a great coach.
Yeah.
Callum Davidson. Yeah, Neil Harris for me is a no-go. I agree. But when people were saying, look, we can't score any goals, bring Neil Harris back as a striker coach, I don't believe that would have or could have happened under Rowett. Okay. No. But now there's a clean slate. Gary Rowett would have been sort of a bit there and bringing him in. But he hasn't got to do that now. It's now a clean slate. So in effect, the chairman could say, right, Neil Harris come back as striker coach. Right, bang. Right, now you're the new manager. It could work in that sense. I wouldn't have any issues with that.
I'll tell you the biggest problem we've got at the moment is you haven't got rid of Gary Rowett yet because you've still got Barrett there. That's the biggest problem. So if it comes to Barrett being in charge against Preston, I would imagine that we will still play the Rowett way.
No, but hang on. Barrett was there. Yeah, but Barrett was there when Harris was in charge, because when Harris left, Barrett was the manager for one game, I believe, when we lost. It was 2-0 up at Brentford, and it was 3-2.
No, I'm pretty sure we played Leeds.
We did beat Leeds. You're right. He was in charge for 2 or 3 games. You're right. We did beat Leeds. Bradshaw scored a couple, didn't we? I think we won 2-1. Telly Davis, good evening, mate. You're saying Nathan Jones, Kevin Muscat, or Scott Parker is in your top 3. I would absolutely love Muscat back at the fucking club. Would you take Muscat of open arms, Ken?
I think the credentials aren't that good for Muscat.
Someone said that Muscat's done nothing.
Yeah, he has done. I think he done a stint in China, didn't he?
Yeah.
But however, what I will say is that Arsene Wenger, I believe, had only done a stint in China before he comes.
Arsene Wenger's available.
No. So he's got a little bit of experience. I think personally, if Millwall want to get back to be fighting for promotion and playing the Millwall way, then you're going to have you're going to have to go out and spend some. I'd rather not make any more signings and have someone that could really operate the players that we got.
Yeah, that's the ideal. But we can't. And we've got a lot of injuries as well. Whoever's going to walk, I don't think they're walking before it's now Wednesday at fucking 9 o'clock nearly. So I don't think Barrett's going to be in charge for Saturday. But then don't forget, we got Blackburn at home on Wednesday, and then we've got Southampton at home or Watford away, and then Southampton at home, or vice versa. And then we've got another international break. So maybe whether Barrett does those 4 games remains to be seen. So my mate just posted on another WhatsApp group, put a voice note in and said to let him go, or to mutually agree that at this point they must have someone else lined up.
Yeah, they must have.
Is it just a case of he didn't want to do any more, and we thought, okay, yeah, he has gone a bit stale, you leave, and it's that simple? Or is it right? I might fuck off here. If he does fuck off somewhere else, I've got no issue with that, because we didn't want him anyway. But me and you didn't want him anyway.
Yeah.
And the club have already got someone else lined up. I don't know. For me, this Muscat thing's sticking out a bit, because Rangers obviously sacked Michael Bill's also available. People were saying in the comments. But then as the chairman gone, do you know what? The fans want someone who understands the Mill identity, someone ideally that's played for the club. I know that can't always happen, but Muscat's done well. Now he's been headhunted by Rangers, got down to the final 2. We better fucking snap him up before someone else does. I don't know. In my mind, that's a vision / dream I'm having. Good
Is
dream.
Is there availabilities in the Championship at the moment?
Oh, they're getting, yeah. Birmingham manager John Hughes is available. He left, but Wayne Rooney's always taking his job. Here you go. Sir Stephen Ove, well done, mate. Thank you. Barrett was in charge for 3 games. 1-1 draw, 1 lost 1. That's a Millwall existence. That's what I always say. What has Muscat done as manager? I couldn't tell you. I know he manages out somewhere and he's done well out there, but it's, no disrespect to whoever he is. It's somewhere in Malaysia or Asia or some Asia. I know he's done well out there. John Eustace is available. Japan. He's been in Japan. There you go. Nathan Jones. People saying, I can't stand that prick. Not a way. Some people are saying, I see some people say, bring back George Graham. Someone else said Neil Warnock. We don't want a fucking managerial casualty in their hands. They're both about 90 years old.
We have Sam Allardyce while we're at it as well.
Someone in one of my groups said Steve Bruce. I went, oh, no. That man should never get good defender, but he should never be getting me and Deck in charge, going back to the old VCD days. Yeah, I'd take it, Deck, definitely. Stuart Pearce, another name. I mean, a lot of these names as well were getting thrown in here, and names financially, I would say, are out of our Philippe Clement is the Rangers manager, so I was thinking out of our budget, I would say. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting.
If someone said me and you could go and do it, then me and you could go do it. We're going to do it for 4 games.
He'll probably get sacked with 4 games, lose 8-0 every game. We have to fold the channel as well for getting sussed out for not knowing what we're talking about. He's in Japan. Won a title with Yokohama. Oh, it's Oklahoma. Lampard, again, Lampard, another one that's going to be well out of our range regarding.
When you look at people like Lampard as well, again, it's a all right. I know, like he's been at Chelsea and stuff like that, but he's still new. He's still new. He's still fresh, and he'd be a stepping block for us. No, sorry, we'd be a stepping block for him.
Well, I think we might be a stepping block for us, because he's fucking. I wouldn't have Lampard, mate. He's done nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Well done, Ted. Any facts welcome, because there's 634 in the stream, and we're not struggling, but we need as much info as we can. So Muscat managed the same team that Postecoglou did in Japan before he went to Celtic, won the title out there and in Australia. Fair enough, and he's a fucking great manager. He's doing well for Spurs. Doing very well for Spurs. Chris Wilder, another name. Chris Houghton on Muscat.
Yeah.
Please, yeah, thank you. I don't even know who this guy is. Ralph Hassenhall. Who keeps saying Penny Payne? Who the fuck is that? God knows. Lots of people got lots of ideas. Alex Ray. Another one. Chris Houghton, yeah, he's Chris Houghton done fucking terrible at Nottingham Forest, didn't he? He was manager of Forest in the Championship.
Yeah.
Done all right, I think before that the openers in the front room. And then he lost like 7 straight games, got sacked, and then Gollum come in from Swansea and fucking took him up. Oh, mate, I don't know. Herlock and Ruddock. But how would you sum up, Ken, if you had to sum up in a few words Gary Rowett's tenure as Millwall manager?
Comfortable yet boring.
That is a very good and very simple explanation. I don't know how many games he won or what his win ratio was, but I just said earlier before you came on, one thing that really got me is I know it ain't all about cup runs, but the cup runs we had under Neil Harris. In fact, your very first ever fan prediction was Millwall 3, Everton 2. How the fuck you got that right? I don't know.
No, I haven't got one right since.
Well, you was Mystic Kenny for a while, and then obviously you never got one right again, so then that name got taken away.
I know, put me on what you say.
Yeah, but yeah, like the lack of cup runs as well. I wouldn't say it's been a waste of time, but I'll never look back on the Rowett era and go, do you know what? We had some bad times, we had some fucking great ones as well. Probably, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but for you, probably Preston away last season was probably one of the standouts.
That was a great. Yeah, it was a great day. Everything about that day was brilliant. But the problem is that when you're talking about a simple away win to Preston was the best, you know.
Yeah.
And when you try and look at it technically or tactically, and because I don't think we gave, I'll be honest with you, I don't think we gave Gary Rowett enough stick for that 4-3 loss to Blackburn.
Yeah, very true.
We basically, most of us accepted it on the basis that we're a small club with a small budget, but then we just watch Luton go up instead. You know, and for me, it was sort of unforgivable. I don't think nothing really changed. I mean, even pre-season was quite boring. And then, you know, we've gone into this season. I have no doubt in my mind that he tried to do the best for the club. But then, you know, the cracks started forming when he started, you know, talking personally about himself, i.e., you know, I work away from my family, you know, and all that sort of stuff. The players were getting blamed more and more for performances.
Yeah, good point. I noticed that.
You know, and he did seem like he was at the end of his tether with it all. You know, the wave at the fans, all that sort of stuff. You know, you knew it was coming.
Yeah, very, very true. Like, you know, he did angle towards blaming the players quite a lot towards the end. And I remember him doing that in the early days as well. Saying, you know, we want to play a certain way here. But looks like he's in our stream. All right, Gal, good evening. We want to play a certain way. I remember it was on telly one, and I watched it from indoors. I think it was a midweek game. He said, at the minute, I haven't got the players I want to play that way. So people was like, all right, fair enough. Then I think not long after he took over was lockdown. And I don't think he ever would have survived lockdown if the fans were there. But again, people were even using the excuses, well, you know, it's lockdown, we're the 12th man, and where their things are different. Yeah. And 2 or 3 wins at the last 27 home proves that isn't the case. So I understand where he was coming from a point of where there wasn't my players, but now he's got all his own players in, and he's saying they're not playing the way that I want them to play. So does he want them to play his defensive way, or do they just not get it across how he wants them to play? I'm not sure. But I said it'd be very interesting to find out with a new manager how they play and if he can get those players playing attractive football. Because I'm of the strong belief that we've got some very good attacking players now. But when they used to run forward, you know, I think we'd all say, like, what are they doing in training?
Yeah. It's easy, Dan, to play Man City football when you've got Man City footballers. But if you want to play Man City football with Millwall footballers, it's a near-on non-existent, you know, job. You're not going to be able to do it. And what you end up finding is that the fans don't appreciate that style of football. Don't get me wrong. If we're triangling round teams week in, week out, we take it, right? But we don't have the players to do it. what we do have players to do is to get in the face. People like your Jake Cooper, for me, has gone downhill in the last couple of years. And the reason for that is because of the style of play that he's been told to play. Jake Cooper is a get up in the air, battle for the ball, head the ball away, last ditch tackles, all that sort of stuff. He ain't a ball playing centre back, that's for sure. And if you start making players not play to their strengths, which is what most of our players were doing, you had, for instance, Ryan Leonard was a centre back, Honeyman was a winger, Vogelslammer was a winger. So many players were out. George Saville has been playing as a CDM most of the season. Bradshaw's been playing as a lone striker most of the season when he best played with someone up top with him. You keep playing these players that are not playing, you're not playing to their strengths, you're not going to get results. And then what happens is you don't get results. You're not going to keep your job. So it was so obvious for the 14,000 Millwall fans that turn up on a Saturday, but not obvious to one man, and that's because he didn't know nothing about Millwall.
Steve Leeds very rightly says there that he's gone. We're too soft. We're just too soft in general now. That's obviously part of the Millwall identity that we talk about. Here's a name, right? And I've mentioned this guy, and people might go, oh, "Come on, right?" Mark Beard used to play for Millwall, right? He fucking loves Millwall, loves it. Messages me all the time talking about it. He was an apprentice at Millwall. He came through with Thatcher Kennedy. They won the FA Youth Cup. Lost in the final of the FA Youth Cup to Man United. He scored against Arsenal at Highbury. And I'm not basing this on, he used to play for Millwall, get him in. He's a very, very good coach. He has been in football something like 34 years now. He's done his time in the lower leagues. He was assistant at Dorking last season. He's now first team manager at Eastbourne Borough. And he gets him, mate. His dad was a Millwall scout, Mick, no longer with us, sadly. But, yeah, Mark Beard is a name for me that he had, before he did Dorking, before he did Eastbourne Borough, he was Brighton. He told me about Longman. He went, Longman's quality. I coached him. And that Brighton youth side were a very fucking good side under Mark Beard for a long, long time. And I'd definitely be tempted to give it to someone like that. Someone who knows the club, yes, but is also a very fucking good coach, motivator, man manager, and wears his heart on his sleeve. Oh dear, where do we go? Too risky, someone said. I don't know if that's in relation to what I just said. Don't know. Yeah, Millwall way, they won't say anything. They'll keep it from us. But yeah, if you are just joining us and you're not sure what's happening, it's there on the screen and it's ticking on the bottom. Gary Rowett has left Millwall Football Club. By mutual consent, the club released a statement about an hour ago and he is gone. Let us know in the comments. Are you glad or are you not? I think I know the answer to the majority of those. Yeah, what you're saying there, Ken, as well about you always saying in your fan predictions, but was always trying to put square pegs in round holes, playing fucking Honeyman at fucking wing and Vogelslammer on the wing and Leonard at right back and this and that.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think who we just got in. Couple of low knees and this bit. Yes, it's a strange one. What are we? 10 games into that? Yeah, go on, Kim. Sorry about what you just got to say about square pegs in round holes.
Yes, it's exactly the same as what I just said. It's I like to go back to the days when we had the Eiffel and the Reed on the wings, or your Moody or your Shaw up top, them type of days. And every single player, I wouldn't say every single player that was in that team was out of this world, but they all had jobs. I mean, how long was Matty Lawrence our right back for? He weren't a great footballer, but he was great for us. He'd done the basics really well, right? And he was a solid right back. That's what he did. Even Robbie Ryan, like what I'm trying to say is that if you put a player in his position and let him do the things that he's good at, and you do that throughout the board, you then end up having a great team with not necessarily the best, but not necessarily the best gifted team. And I think that's what we were back then. And I don't have a clue how his head works, Rowett. Honestly, I do not know.
It's overcomplicated things then.
Yeah. definitely overcomplicated things.
When I interviewed Teddy Sheringham like this week, he said I went up. He always spoke about Millwall, like the togetherness is a big thing, and the group they had, they would have lived and died for each other. But he said he went to play at Forest for Brian Clough, and he was like, used to put a ball on a towel in the middle of the change room and go, "There's the ball. There's only one on the pitch. Make sure you get it, and if you get it, help your mates to keep hold of it. Defenders, go out there, you defend. Wingers, get down the fucking wings, get crosses in. Strikers, you score goal. Go on." And Teddy Sheringham was like, "Is that it?" And he was like, "Yeah, that is all he says to us."
Yeah.
That is literally all he says to us every week. This is a really good comment from Come On You Lions. Assembled a good squad, but unable to get the best from them due to his negative tactics. I think I'm not saying because that's like contentious. I think we all agree on that.
Yeah, I always say that the one place that we're lacking is up top. That's my only place that I feel like we need to strengthen. I don't think Nisbet's the answer. I don't think Bradshaw's the answer. I think someone with Bradshaw would be good. I don't think it's Nisbet. But other than that, I think we have a good enough team to be solid, competitive, attack-minded.
Danny Boswell wants to be the manager. What do you think, Dan? The Boswell brothers, get them both in. They could be like a more successful Cowley brothers. Get them in. Get them in, Oaken. Why not? I'll have them all day long. They know the Millwall way. Evan Pollock. I'm going Preston now. I've just had a few messages from people saying, right, who's going Preston now? You know what I mean? It has, whether it's good news or not, it has give a few people the buzz back because, as I said, you were staying away. I know a few people were staying away. I've not been as bothered about going, but I've still been going. Half that reason, I've been honest in the past for the channel, obviously. Do you know what I mean? But this will at least maybe ignite the flame back in a lot of the fans. Do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think that you could tell a lot of the time that they were quite downhearted, the players. I think that they turn up on a Saturday, they give everything that they could, and usually it was for a good solid 10, 15 minutes. And once something goes wrong, like, the edge used to go down. And I honestly believe that's because of the instructions that they were given, the tactics that they were given. And they just knew that the way that they were meant to play, they knew themselves that they probably weren't going to get anything out of the game after conceding a goal.
Yeah, that is something we haven't mentioned. So I'm just breaking up some graphics as well to put on the screen. We said, it's mutual consent. Was it his decision? Was it the chairman's decision? Is he going somewhere else? Have we got someone else lined up? But one thing we haven't mentioned in all that is what you just rightly picked up is the team like they scored. Conceded the goal. They seemed very, very downtrodden for a very long time and let him affect them too much. Well, actually alluded to that recently. Do you think he's lost the dressing room?
Yeah, I think he lost the dressing room a season ago. Are you there?
As long as that?
Yeah, I think so.
Go on,
maybe not a season ago, but definitely the last probably 10 games of last season, I'd say.
Just for another thing that's popped into my there is, sorry, I can't actually see it. I'm just trying to find a graphic on the screen. Is that what are we in games? 12 in on that? 12 games on that?
Yeah.
Would if they wanted him gone, surely they wouldn't have given him the money to spend that he has spent at the start of this season. And the backing they have, we've signed some fucking big players on big money from I
think, to be honest, with the tragic things that have happened over the last few months, I think that, the James was in a probably position where he had to show some sort of intent that, he was going to be here for us and stuff like that. And I think he done what probably any other decent person would do, and that's back the person that his dad had backed.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I think that after a little while and things have settled down, all of a sudden you can reevaluate things, and I think that's probably what he's done. If anything, he might be a lot more ruthless than than what John was. John was a very kind-hearted, wanted to work it out guy. And maybe James is someone that wants success even more, you know, and knows what he's got to do to get it.
Definitely. Sorry, Mum. Even my washing machine's even singing. Just leave it off for a second.
I thought that was mine.
No, it's going. It's making a noise it's never made before. It's going moo. No, there's nothing in it. It didn't start off though. Hang on, I'm just gonna have a row of her quickly.
Whatever happens, we must win away at Preston on Saturday. Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because you're going to be in a position where everything's changed. But also on the flip side of that, not everything's changed because, like I say, I believe Barrett's going to probably go and play the Rowett way unless he's got some really, really, you know, good ideas. But you've got to be careful as well because Barrett now is also having to do this for his job.
Yeah.
Because if someone else comes in and they've got an assistant and Barrett's on his arse, so, you know, maybe he might turn around and go, you know, I don't know, I'm going to go back to a normal 4-4-2. We're just going to go for it. Or, you know, I've got something up my sleeve that I really wanted to.
Nothing to lose, is he?
He has got absolutely nothing to lose. Absolutely nothing. Because I tell you what, he goes and wins them 4 games, you know, we'd all be shouting for him to be the next manager.
Yeah, I mean, some people before were saying, you know, give it to Barrett. Other people were saying give it to Nugent and Paul Robinson because obviously they managed the 21s and 21 score a lot of goals. Kevin Nugent scored a lot of goals in his career as well. The James Berylson thing I just want to talk about again, where you said, you know, he's made this decision. We're saying it's more, in my opinion, more of a Rowett decision than a Berylson decision. If God rest his soul, our wonderful chairman John Berylson was still in charge, do you think this decision would have still come to this point, or do you think it wouldn't have done the Rowett would be still in charge?
I think my opinion on John, and I met him quite a few times, but you know I can only judge it on his actions of what he did for this club, and I think he was a really kind, caring man. Don't get me wrong, he's definitely a businessman, but I think that if he could have worked it out for Gary to make him stay, I think he probably did at some point. You know, I think he probably did sit down and have that chat with him at some point, being like, you know, come on, let's make it work. And the good thing is with James is that he's fresh. He's firstly a businessman. He's secondly a Millwall supporter. You know, and in order to make things work, I think that he's had a solid, strong conversation. To be honest. I think that Rowett showed some vulnerability.
Definitely with the Norwich stuff. To me, he showed his hand there. You know, as a game of cards, I'll go, you're fucked.
Yeah.
He definitely, to me, edged on the side of like, you know, oh, poor me, feel sorry for me, sort of thing. And I'm away from my family. At that point, I thought he could well go here.
Yeah.
You know what? He's still not walked. He's still not walked. It's become a mutual agreement. So he's still gone, you know, I'm not sure about this. Maybe James Berylson, maybe we don't know too much about him. Maybe we're underestimating him as a character. Maybe he's got ambition. Maybe he wants to not just take over what his dad did, but what a lot of sons do. You see in this position, for example, not even in football, Eddie Hearn.
Yeah.
Take over the fucking parents' business or the dad's business, and they don't want to continue it. They want to fucking drive it to another level to put their own stamp on it and get their own credit for that success. Do you know what I mean?
I think as well, you have to take a look at it as, you know, as a person. You know, the results and the way that Millwall are, where they are, how well they do over the next 5-10 years or whatever. And obviously the fan base is critical to an owner. You know, and he's seeing people that aren't going.
You're getting people through the door, mate. You're losing the battle, aren't you?
This isn't just his business. This is his father's legacy.
Yeah.
You know, this is something that his dad has poured millions and millions of pounds in over the years. And if it has been down to him having a strong chat with Rowett and Rowett showing his vulnerability, which I think that is the case, to be honest, then you know, hats off to him. Massively hats off to him.
It might not just be, like we say, just business. It's definitely an emotional tie there as well. It's personal now. It's not just business, both.
Yeah. And I'll take that all day long. That's the type of owner you want. You know, this is my father's legacy we're talking about. People aren't happy, they're not going. You know, everything's so fresh in the mind for the Belson family and the Millwall family. And and you know, you're sat 15th in the league with really unhappy fans. Why you're going like that to them?
Yeah, I forgot about that. The little clap he gave us at Norwich. Yeah, I definitely think you're right. Maybe he's thinking, you know, all right, look, he's not taking us backwards, as we can see there for the league position. I've got my glasses on. 11 games, 4 wins, 3 draws, 4 losses. Like I said, look, we're not in the position of other clubs that were 5 years ago when Neil Harris was our manager, or 4 years ago. The Southend's, the Bradfords, the Chesterfields, the list goes on, that are in League Two / gone out of football. You know, so it's definitely has stabilised us, but like you said, it's gone stale. Maybe at this point, Berylson's thinking it's not just it's gone stale. It's starting to sort of undo the work that my dad did, and it's not feeling like it was. And I want to make him proud as well as it to work as a business. We're not getting the people through the door we was, because I'm telling you now, right? We used to get bigger crowds and definitely more atmosphere in League One. I know it's League One, but it was like, you couldn't wait to get there on a weekend, could you? You couldn't wait to get there.
I was just about to say this, Chuck. You know, going and watching games this season, would you rather watch the last 11 games, right, and watch them 3 times over, which is what we would have done this season, right? Or would you have preferred to have been back down in League One, right, coming back from 2-0 down against Bury away, right? Because I'll be honest with you, I'd rather be in League One coming back 2-0 down from Bury away. Right, because them days were special. They were brilliant. They were amazing. You know, little things like that.
Yeah.
This is just it's just been boring and depressing. I told you, I walked out the stadium the last game I went to, and I genuinely, I've never felt so depressed in my life. And we won, I think.
I remember I said to you last week, Henry was going to come, and he went, "Oh, fuck that, so I've got a chance to go work." Then she was going to come. She woke up in the morning, she looked at her, she went, "No, I can't be bothered." Then I text you and you went, "Mate, thanks for the offering. I know it's a freebie, but you couldn't pay me to go."
Yeah, couldn't think of anything worse.
4 or 5 other WhatsApp groups, no one wanted it. It weren't just me. The box next to us were down about 4 empty spaces. We had 2 or 3. Like we're all feeling this way for a reason, and we're not fucking wrong or alone in those feelings, are we? Mill KP, how are you, mate? Who do you want to be the new manager? Don't say Joe O'Mara. Ken, can you sift through any of them fucking comments? Because I ain't got my glasses on.
I've just seen Millwall KP to put, "Oh, I love you, Kenny. Don't let Joe see that because he thinks he's your favourite."
You're his boy.
Yeah.
The days when we had Dennis Wise.
Rowett was the only manager I'm aware of that was more interested in taking the piss out of Kenny's part in live online TV when he should have been planning on Millwall winning.
So Steve Lee says there we've had our biggest average gate since 1966-67. What, this season? Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, lately I've seen people walking out lately with 3-0 down, and they're just going, "Oh, yeah, he's what he is. It's just fucking, I've had enough. I'm leaving. Or that's it. Fuck it. I'm not going." Not even like, "This is bollocks. We're not fucking having it." Like saying he's got to give.
So I've seen what David said.
Oh, fuck's sake. Don't even respond, mate. I don't even know who they are. When we get 5,000 subs, I'll think about it. Get Chris Wilder in, Ellis Roden. Thank you very much for your kind contribution. Super chats are open. You can donate to the comments via the comment section. Sorry. Just keep getting my tits.
A lot of people have said Morrison. Morrison, believe it or not, he's at Horsham, isn't he? And actually doing quite well. But I think that Steve Morrison's there for the journey, to be honest. I think he's there for the journey. He's had a taste of Championship. I don't even think it's the taste of the Championship. I think he's had a taste of people that own football clubs, and I think that's setting back a little bit. And I think what Steve Morrison's doing right now is 100% the right thing.
Yeah, learning trade almost now, like doing it properly.
Definitely, yeah.
That's what I said about Mark Beard. Like Mark Beard's been like people will go, fucking hell, he played for us 20 years ago. Like, what's he done? He's actually had a really good career. And who did I see talking about this? I can't remember who it was, but they said these managers now, like your Lampards and Gerrards, they jump in and they've not done their fucking apprenticeship, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? Mark Beard's definitely done that. Well, Conor Miles and Graham Potter, I don't think that. Again, I don't think we could attract him due to his fucking about a £90 million payout from fucking Chelsea or something stupid, wouldn't it? Never felt less interested in Millwall past few weeks, whether we won one loss or draw. Bored, drained the life out of me. Hopefully, starts to get the buzz back again. Now, yeah, like a lot of people are feeling exactly what Kenny said. Clem says, are the Warnock rumours true? Well, I don't know. There is any Warnock rumours, unless it's been started on this stream. Harris football by the end was as bad as Rowett's. Fulham away, we lost 4-0, was appalling as Norwich this season. I don't think it was, in my opinion. I still don't think Neil Harris should have probably left when he did. We was about exactly this point, I think, in the season. I'll tell
you something funny about the Neil Harris thing. As much as I wouldn't have him back, you're right, Dan. Like, we started getting on Harris's back the minute things started turning, right? With Rowett, it turned, done a 360, done another 360. It was like a fucking roller coaster before people started going, I've had enough of it. And I think that Rowett's he's had a great time for himself, that's for sure, because we got on one of our own a lot quicker and with a lot more aggression than what we did with Rowett. People are still now saying, all these people, well, that's it, we're relegated now. Yeah, fucking watch.
Yeah, we're nicked.
Yeah.
Rowett to QPR, you end up at QPR. Has Gareth Ainsworth been sacked yet? What are the available jobs in the Championship? Can anyone let us know in the comments? Who are the teams without managers at the minute? I don't think there is many other than us that I can think of. I could be wrong. Could we afford Warnock, Beverly Young? I don't think he'd do it. I think he was done. He's had more comebacks than Frank Sinatra, and he retired, didn't he? Then he came back down Huddersfield and he's left them mid-season.
But ain't he still there? He just ain't the manager no more.
I don't know. He actually lives in fucking like Cornwall, doesn't he, or something like that?
Yeah. He needs to
go in Cornwall and lives down there. Okay, Peters, they wouldn't come to us. Muscat wouldn't come to us. I think he would. I think he'd come to us, definitely. But yeah, Lewis, this is what someone else said to me earlier.
Yeah.
The way this has happened, it's a very strange time for it to happen, Kenny. I mean, there's never a usual time for a manager to leave, but considering we've had the whole 2 weeks international break and now all of a sudden he goes 3 games before.
Yeah, I think something's gone amiss within the last couple of weeks. I think that maybe potentially over the last 4, 5, 6 weeks, I think Millwall have probably been starting to weigh up their options, to be honest. And I think that Rowett's probably showed a couple of hands and what they've ended up doing. I wouldn't be surprised if someone, Millwall turned around and went, on Sunday after Preston's game, Millwall announced such and such as the new manager.
Yeah, like give Adam Barrett that little
let him have that Saturday.
The players.
Yeah. And then at least, they've got, I don't know, they've got fucking Monday and Tuesday, ain't they? That's it. But
of course we're playing fucking Blackburn at home Wednesday.
Yeah. But it wouldn't be, Blackburn at home wouldn't be a bad game to have as your first, the crowd isn't going to be massive. Get some ideas into your team. No one's going to care too much about the result if your new manager comes in. Don't get me wrong, we're going to lose 4-0 and it's a different story. But You know, if you see, all you've got to do with a new manager as a fan is see something. And that ain't going to be difficult.
Yeah. The thing is, whoever comes in has got a lot to change. He's got players of they've had a certain mindset instilled into them. So maybe trying to get them to come out the traps, be a little bit more advanced, that could be fucking difficult, couldn't it? It could take time to put your stamp on it. But I think it's a good time to do it. I don't think it would have been down near relegation into the season, but I'm excited to see what happens going forward. I'm sure you are as well.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I can't do Preston on Saturday because I've already agreed to taking my nephew out. But who have we got next Saturday?
Southampton or Watford away?
Watford.
Southampton. Yeah. The Mill fixtures is never far away on my Google search. Watford away.
Yeah, might be able to do that. I've never done Watford actually.
Well, Watford's actually sold out, isn't it?
Mm.
It's sold out, but I don't even know they've gone on sale until they sold out. So I haven't got any tickets either, but I'm sure I can fucking track some down. Someone saying Stephen Reid. Stephen Reid again, another ex-Mill player that went on to play in the Prem and done well, and then he had good stints in coaching. Sorry, I couldn't think what I was thinking of him. Not in management, but as a coach, didn't he do Scotland? He was assistant at Scotland or coach at Scotland. He was Nottingham Forest involved there as well. But he's come out of football now. He's gone into more the mental health side of things and started up some sort of business to do that. There's nothing wrong with Cornwall. I'm not saying there is, but I'm saying that Neil Warnock, 107 years of age, probably won't want to be travelling to London every fucking week. Do you know what I mean? See if he applies. I wonder who will apply, because everyone always goes, who would you get and who would want to manage us? Mate, there will be lots of fucking managers that want that job. Chris Wilder's one that I'd be interested in having in as well. His name keeps popping up. He keeps saying as well that he grew up in Swanley, Chris Wilder.
Oh, okay.
Which he did, because he actually was mates with Billy Mitchell's dad. They went to school together, and then he moved up north. But Wilder's got form around getting his team got this out of his division, isn't he? Did it with Sheffield United. I think he's a great.
Where did he go after Sheffield United?
Wilder, wasn't he? Didn't he? Not Wolves. He done someone for a very short space of time. I can't think. Yeah. But he did someone for a very short space of time. Here's another name that bounces around.
Absolutely not. He's fucking been to every club in the fucking country, that bloke.
Yeah.
There is a reason why he don't. There's a reason why he don't manage anymore. Is because he's got so much money from being sacked from every job that he's ever done.
That's why he gets them. He gets them, packs his bags. He says, "Oh man, I'll be home in a few weeks. Don't worry."
Yeah.
Fucking nicely check. Well, that was Watford. Wilder did Watford. I knew it was someone beginning with W. Nathan Jones again. People saying Middlesbrough, Borough. Michael Carrick's. I don't know what that's about. Oh no, Chris Wilder did Middlesbrough as well. Yeah, but it wasn't that one I was thinking more recently. I was thinking. I was thinking about something else. Right, hang on. Scott Parker. If I said Scott Parker for me, Scott Parker. I personally wouldn't have a problem with Scott Parker being our manager. I know a lot of people in the comments will probably disagree, obviously, because who he's played for in his career. But I thought he did a really good job at Fulham, obviously. Bournemouth, that 9-0 fucking spanking by Liverpool, I think it was, got him sacked, didn't it? And then he went over to Bruges for a bit. Him or Michael Beale, they're like both local boys. Michael Beale was doing well at QPR before he went to Rangers, and he's just been sacked. I don't know. Would it bother you if we did get Parker, because we've had, Lomas, Billy Bonds, that tire that players have played for other clubs that we don't appreciate? Does that bother you, that whole process? Not anyone in particular.
Not really. I think it bothers you more as a player. If you go and sign somebody from West Ham, for instance, then, and really, let's be honest. I know I'm probably going to piss people off by saying this, but it's pretty stupid. If it betters our team, I get it, history, etc., but I don't hate West Ham unless we play them. To be honest, you know what I mean? It's one of them. But as for a manager, like look, it's not like he's come fresh out of the West Ham managerial academy, you know, and come to Millwall to fuck us over.
No. No.
You know,
this is the thing, like, when I interview I mean, what a lot of people, what you got to understand is, like, if you're fucking, I don't know, if you're an electrician, you go and work on a building site and you're working on a firm of electricians, and they go, well, you're going to be fucking working with this geezer this week. Oh, mate, do you like football? Yeah, I'm a West Ham fan. You wouldn't go, I'm not working with him.
Yeah, exactly.
Your job is your job. And that's what I think a lot of people do misunderstand with football. That, you know, when I've been around a lot of the training grounds and stuff, and I used to do the drill stuff for Soccer AM, and it is footballers are in a bubble. They're very dictated to. They're like fucking like greyhounds to an extent. They're told what to eat, when to sleep. Always getting their fucking check. You've got them packs on with the checks and all that. And it is a job, and it is a contract that you're being offered to provide for your family. So, you know, players that have played for the club. That's when people say to me, "Oh, why? I hope you put it on Teddy Sheringham. Oh, you should have put. Why did he go to West Ham?" Well, one, I don't need to ask him because I can tell you why he went to West Ham. There was a club that come in from at the time, and he's got fucking 3 or 4 or 5 kids. And well, he's got a lot of money, obviously, but he wants to carry on playing football at a good level. And 2, I've managed to pin him down, luckily, because he was in a car getting chauffeur driven to Manchester to appear at a charity event, which you probably charge about 10 grand for. He did mine for free. So I'm not going to start going, oh, yeah, what did you fucking do? It ain't going to go down well, is it? And I ain't probably going to get the interview or anyone's going forward. But so that's why I didn't ask him who he supported. But yeah, along that line, it wouldn't bother me, Scott Parker. I mean, no. he played for a fucking lot of clubs, Scott Parker.
Yeah.
Didn't he? Charlton, Chelsea, Newcastle, West Ham,
Fulham,
to name a few. He played for a lot of clubs, so it wouldn't bother me. And he's a young manager. He lives fucking very local to Millwall.
I'll tell you one person I wouldn't have, though, just to throw this in, because I haven't seen this name yet, and that would scare me. Bowyer.
Whatever happened to him?
I don't know. I know he lives up.
And he done all right for him because since he lived there, they've been horrendous. Went to Birmingham, didn't he?
Yeah. Knowing us, we'd call Alan Kirbishley out of retirement or something.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know he's still alive.
I always get Alan Kirbishley mixed up with Alan Pardew. I don't know why I wouldn't want to argue with him. But Mark Warburton is the man. I mean, he was the one. He's another one that, for me, is a little bit like a stabiliser. Yeah. Like, it was like, you know, he done QPR for years, and yes, they wasn't shit, but they wasn't great either.
We don't need a stabiliser now. We've had one for the last 4 or 5 years. Like, what we need now is someone that's going to give it a go, right? If we give it a go and we fall flat, I know that me personally, if we ended up 15th in the league, but we went out and absolutely gave it our all every single game, I would be nowhere near as depressed as what I am watching Gary Rowett football, trying to get 8th in the table.
I mean, look, this is what I'm saying. Like, outsiders looking in must say, what's your problem? You know, look, there you are. You've won half your games. You've your games are split in 3. You can't see us at the minute because the banners are there. Your games are split in 3. You've won an amount. You've drawn an amount. You've lost the same amount.
Yeah,
but it's hard to explain to an outsider looking in what the issues were, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Another job.
It is about just trying to understand, and it's not just a case of, you know, people have, you know, last 3 games or last 11 games, people are now going, I want that geezer out. The real row out people have been saying it for, you know, a year, easy. And then slowly that band has just got bigger and bigger and bigger, because they're starting to realise that what we were saying was right. And I don't hold in, to be honest, I absolutely hated Rowett's guts, and I always said if I saw him in the street, I'd deck him. But all of a sudden, I don't mind him.
What I don't know what cost to the club.
Yeah, it's kind of like, right, okay, do you know what? We've had 4 years of granted good stabilisation. However, we've had to endure, in my opinion, real boring football, depressing football. No cut runs, no excitement, no nothing. And now I think it's time that now we are stabilised. We don't need to have a stabilising manager. We need to have someone that's going to absolute go for it. Who was that? Was it? What about the? I'll tell you, the Cowley brothers. Was it the Cowley brothers?
Yeah, they done really well at Lincoln, didn't they? They went to Portsmouth.
That's it.
As well. I don't even know where they are now. Whether they're still at Portsmouth, I'm not sure. But that was a name that really come to the forefront for a lot of people to get on board, didn't they?
Yeah.
Oh, well, at least Lee Bow's not coming back because he manages Montserrat in the Caribbean. That's great fucking knowledge.
Yeah, no. What a job, by the way, as well. What a job.
Fucking great job. I mean, in a couple of weeks when I go. I'm not going to Montserrat. I'm going to the Caribbean. Right. If you don't know what we're talking about, Gary Rowett tonight has left Millwall Football Club on mutual consent. Was he more pushed? Or did he jump? Not sure. But he's come out with his quotes here and he said, "Firstly, I'd like to thank the fans for all their support during my time at the club. The atmosphere they create is truly unique." Well, it gets better than that, Gal, but if you didn't allow it to. "I thoroughly enjoyed being manager of Millwall," of course you did, "and depart with a feeling that the club has progressed during my tenure. As it's sometimes the case in football, the time just feels right to part ways. I'd like to thank John Berylson, James, Steve Kavanagh, Alex Aldridge, my backroom staff, and everyone behind the scenes for their hard work and support. Finally, I'd like to extend my gratitude to the players who I thank for the blood, sweat and tears they put into their efforts. It has been a successful and enjoyable 4 years." What do you take from that, Ken? Do you think that's all true?
Well, I take that he's turned around and thanked the players for blood, sweat, and tears, but most weeks said that they didn't do enough.
That's a very good point.
Do you know what I mean? Like, this is the problem. He was always full of bollocks, and he was never happy to accept it. I think it was you that said this to me, or it might have been someone completely different. Someone said to Rowett once, and I think it was on a training day at the Den, you know, why do you still continue to play the five at the back? And didn't he say, you know, we're not in the 1980s anymore or something like that? Like, he was never ever open to doing anything other than what he knew. And the only time he ever did what all Millwall supporters were saying was when he was in trouble. You know, and I'll be honest with you, I think he's gone before he was kicked anyway. Because if you look at the games, you've got Preston away. I don't think Rowett would have got anything there. Blackburn at home against, you know, a non-existent crowd. If you lose that, you're in trouble, massive trouble. And then who have we got after that? Watford, not going to get a result. Southampton, probably not going to get a result. So maybe he sort of walked before he was kicked anyway. Pushed. That's the right saying, isn't it?
Yeah.
Before he was pushed.
I just think, you know, when you get them statements come out, you get the night. This is the glory of what we're doing and other podcasts do and other YouTube shows, because we're talking about what actually happened. Obviously, the club will give you the watered down version, you know, the very handshakey, nicey, you know, let's all keep it clean and walk away so there's no shit to be stirred.
He left for an undisclosed fee.
Yeah, we're sitting here with our big wooden spoons trying to stir it, but there's definitely more to it than that. You know, something's been initiated somewhere, and there's definitely more to it than we're getting fed. But maybe we'll never know. As soon as this podcast is over, I will be straight on the phone trying to fucking find out. That's for sure. But there you go, everyone. I think we've said all we can really say on it, unless anyone else wants to talk about anything else. What's Dennis Wise? A lot of people say, what's Dennis Wise up to? Dennis Wise is, funny enough, I spoke to Mark Bircham yesterday, and I said, Birch, any chance you can try and get Dennis Wise on for me? Because they're both at Como in Italy.
Oh, really?
And, yeah, Birch said, I'll ask him. I said, look, tell him I just had Teddy on, and obviously you've been on, a few others. He said, I'll ask him for you. Who knows? Who knows? Wise, I mean, again, Wise is someone I loved when he was at the club, and they say you should never go back. I definitely would be interested. That's just, he's been out of. I think he's more of a director of football at Como. I know Birch is like first team coach. I think he's more of an overseer, like he did at Newcastle, sort of director of football. So I don't think, you know, he's been out of actual the English game and English management for a very long time. But he's a fucking winner, and he definitely understands the Mill way. Having got us to our only ever appearance in Europe. Then got us to an FA Cup final.
And just quickly, because I've just Wikipedia'd him, says he's the president of Serie B side Como.
Was he?
Yeah, so I don't know whether does that mean owner?
I don't know. Yeah, it should do, really, shouldn't it? Should be the owner.
Yeah, the president.
Yeah, fucking hell. Mate, if you're on Lake Como, absolutely having it off, you're probably not going to want to come back to fucking to Bermondsey. Yeah.
I don't know.
Gary Rowett's come in and said grass isn't always greener. That's an interesting point, because I said this before, whether we liked Rowett or whether we didn't appreciate him or his tactics, and we thought he was changing the identity / sucking the life out of the club, we definitely didn't end up like Bradford. We definitely didn't end up like Southend. Even Gillingham League 2 teams we used to play against, Chesterfield. The list goes on. There's another one that's actually in Maidstone's league now. I can't even think what it is. But we used to play against them, and they're now in the fucking Scunthorpe.
Scunthorpe, yeah.
I think like they're in the same equivalent as fucking, or in the National League. Like
Yeah,
we definitely haven't gone down that route. So grass isn't always greener. Well, now, as fans, it's time to put our money where our mouth is, because we say, if Rowett went, we'd be better. If Rowett went, we play different type of football. So now we're actually going to find out, aren't we?
Yeah.
And I'm a little worried. I think the club will get it right. Do everything they can to get it right. You can't guarantee success and the results from any manager, but I don't think that Rowett was a step backwards. I thought he stabilised us and he kept us at that level, in my opinion. Like you said, we was already anchored. The anchor didn't come up, did it? We didn't go, we didn't get washed away. We didn't fucking sail off into the sunset either. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. We sort of stayed on that level. So it can happen in football. It happens at fucking some big clubs. Look at Man United for one, Chelsea for another, where you end up with this managerial merry-go-round and just capitulate and can't fucking get out of a hole, really. So it will be very interesting to see. And I'm sure we're all worried that the club might not get it right. I can't see why they wouldn't, because I think they understand the fan base, the owners, etc., and they know what we want. But who will be appointed? That fucking remains to be seen.
Someone said Bielsa.
Again, look, I think there's some managers where
I'd love that. I would love that.
There's some maybe. Oh, we're back. Sometimes there's managers where there's like an emotional tie where we say we've got to get someone Millwall in, or we go. I was watching this fucking comments earlier. Some people just naming Millwall players: Sheringham, Cahill, Reed, Harris. I just like Claridge. I was just like watching all the names come in. I think there's ones where managers are, good managers but very old managers like Mick McCarthy, George Graham, Neil Warnock, and then there's other managers where people put them in that bracket. The manager you just said, I can't remember who it was now, but who was it? Can't remember who it was. But managers that you just said that were just being named,
Mark McGee and Steve Gritt.
But like when people say like Bielsa, Dyche, Lampard, they fall in a different bracket, being completely out of our fucking wage structure.
Yeah, and not necessarily, I think, what we need either. Like I say, I think obviously someone like Dyche is out of our price range. I don't know whether someone like Lampard would be out of our price range, but like I say, I don't. We need to find a manager now that sort of gets it and goes, right, well, fuck it, let's go for it. Let's give it a go. If we don't get where we need to be, we do it next season. Let's keep pushing. Energy, aggression, Millwall way. Give the fans what they want. And then we do become the 12th man. This is the thing. As we said before, you're going to play maybe not technically better football than what you saw under Rowett, but what you will probably see is more goals, more entertainment, and all of a sudden, like we say, the fans then get behind you, and all of a sudden the fans can become the 12th man and potentially get you that extra goal.
Good football doesn't matter. Safety matters. Says this guy. I can't pronounce that name. It just looks like a fucking Wi-Fi code. Yeah. I know what he's saying. Good football doesn't matter. Safety matters. But I think, we're mindful. We don't want to go backwards. We don't want to get relegated. I understand what he's saying, but at the same time, good football does matter, or not even good football, competitive football, aggressive football. You know, players that want to fucking die for the shirt and give everything they got, flying into tackles. It wasn't. It hasn't got to be pretty. It wasn't always. It was very rarely pretty under Neil Harris, but it was just the breed of footballer and the breed of and the type of play that he instilled, wasn't it? No, it was long ball, yes, but we were fucking high intensity, sticking it on teams. You know, on that day that he would get the players to believe that we could beat anyone on their day. That's why we did fucking beat so many Premier League teams and FA Cup matches.
Yeah.
So I know what this guy's saying. Safety matters, yes, but good football does matter, especially when, like you said earlier, Ken, people ain't coming through the door anymore.
Yeah. And also, you got to remember that Rowett did play that way when he first come here.
Yeah.
He did play that way, high intensity, entertaining football, further up the pitch. You know, I can't remember who it was. We beat a team 3-1. I think Conor Mahoney set up a couple for Matt Smith. I think, like, I remember that game because it was electric. It was exciting, you know, and we were always on. I think it might have been Luton, you know, but anyway, whoever it was, it was exciting. But I can't tell you another game like that over the last 3 years.
Yeah, do you know what? You just like sort of jog something in my memory. I remember when Rowett came in and everyone was moaning about Harris hoofball, and we played someone like you said. I remember doing a post match and going,
the odds are out, by the way.
Joe's
just put odds out already, so I don't know whether he wants to send that into the group.
Oh, really?
The new manager.
Yeah, send that in. Oh, yeah, it's done. I'll put it up on the screen. Cheers, Joe. I remember saying, like, one of my first post matches, like, yeah, no, we knew we had 3 and 2 players here, and then 2 more and 2 out wide, and teams couldn't work out how he was doing it, and it was all good. And then yeah, like it slowly sort of that all sort of stopped. Someone into it over there, neutral, where when your manager seems like he's going to get sacked, just when you think he's going to get sacked, he pulls something out the bag. He did do that quite a lot, didn't he? Like he was sort of fuck. Oh, we're going to do that, and then. Right, that's it. We're safe, and then he slowly take it away. He didn't want to commit too much to being open. I mean, we could, as I said, people saying be careful what you wish for. We could now start being open, but all that attack manager gets spanked 5-0 every week, and everyone was going, "See, you all want him right out."
Yeah, oh yeah. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, but you know, I just want to be entertained, Dan. Like, and don't get me wrong. I'd love to stay in the Championship. I'd love to go to the Premier League. But also on the flip side of that, I don't really care if we're in League One. As long as I'm entertained, enjoying watching me game of football. Don't get me wrong, you don't enjoy watching it if you're losing all the time. No. But you want to be entertained. And, you know, this half the reason why we fell in love with Millwall.
There you go. There's on. But I've got it on my phone, so I'll read it off there. Right, this is next permanent Millwall manager. These are some odds that Joe O'Mara's just sent in. I don't know where they're from. But Kevin Muscat is currently the favourite at 4-1. John Eustace, of course, recently sacked by Birmingham, which a lot of their fans weren't happy about. Wayne Rooney was appointed as his successor. 5-1. Neil Warnock recently left Huddersfield. 8-1. Cole Robinson, 10-1. He was obviously the Charlton manager, and then he became the Oxford manager. He was there for a few years. I don't even know if he might still be there. Lee Bowyer, 10-1. Danny Cowley, 12-1. Frank Lampard, 12-1. Nathan Jones, 12-1. I think we've mentioned everyone on that list other than... Yeah, other than Mark Kennedy. Mark Kennedy, 14-1. So Mark Kennedy played in that side that I mentioned with Mark Beard. Of course, scored the goal as well as Mark Beard the night beat Arsenal 2-0 at Highbury. 14th of January, 1995. Just before my 15th birthday. And he went on, obviously, to play for Liverpool, had a little bit of an injury career, Man City, amongst other sides. And I don't know if you know the drill. Where was I? Ipswich. One of the first ones I did, I was in Ipswich, and Mark Kennedy was there, and I was absolutely buzzing. My mate was taking the piss out of me, going, "You're a proper fanboy." And I'm not sure if he's a player still at that point, or he might have been a coach. But I think, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, I think Mark Kennedy Is he manager of someone like
So
not Mansfield? It's someone in the fucking League Two, I'm sure. Well, he got sacked by Lincoln. There you go. So let's put that to bed. He was at Lincoln, Steve, but where was he before that? He was like somewhere like Mansfield. It weren't Mansfield, but yeah, he's been sacked anyway by Lincoln. Lincoln just sacked him. Lincoln, brilliant.
He's a head coach. Oh, he's just been sacked, has he?
Yeah, well, he's not going to get agile. He's been sacked by. You'd fucking like to think not, wouldn't you? If he's just been sacked by Lincoln, you wouldn't want to.
You couldn't make it up though because they've announced it an hour ago.
What's that?
They announced it an hour ago.
What, Mark Kennedy?
Well, that's what it looks like on my thing. I've got hour ago. So, yeah, hour ago.
What the fuck? All right, let me have a look then. Let's have a look. Mark Kennedy. I'm going to kick me. Sorry, my phone is going fucking bananas here. Mark Kennedy. Departs League One club, it says. Abruptly leaves managerial role. It says. Right, let's have a look at this then. Hey, what's going on here? We're calling him a defender in this fucking article, which obviously he wasn't. He was a fucking striker, and then he played left wing for our first team. A former Wolves defender. Anyway, fuck that off that bit. Playoff winning defender Mark Kennedy has left Lincoln City with his departure announced by the Imps on Wednesday evening. His departure comes despite having 3 years left on his 4-year deal when he was appointed. Lincoln Chief Executive Liam Scully said in the club statement, everyone at the club thanks Mark and Danny for their contribution to the Imps. Wish them well in the future. That is weird. This happened literally now.
I think I might have a tenner.
That is very strange. Just BBC Sports about. Lincoln have parted company with head coach Mark Kennedy after a run of 1 win in 6 games. Oh, that's maybe makes a bit more sense. Was he fucking pushed? Did he jump? But before that, I'm sure it was Macclesfield. I've noticed someone might put it in the comments already. But I'm sure he managed Macclesfield before that. And he was doing well because I asked Mark Beard to get him on the show for me, and he went, he won't do it. He's a really quiet bloke as well. It was Macclesfield. He was Macclesfield manager for 2 years, and then he's been Lincoln manager. But now he has left the club after 1 win in 6. So, yeah, it was Macclesfield. I knew it began with an M. Mansfield, Macclesfield, near enough, close enough. Time to load up Bet365. It definitely is. Right, listen, that's all I think for now that we can say on it. Before I get a little bit more information, I don't mind doing another show maybe with some other, with other boys as well, Ken, tomorrow or later in the week.
Yeah.
Right now, I think we've said what we think's happened, whose decision we thought it was, what happens going forward. But there you go. If you are just joining us and you don't know what's gone on, Gary Rowett has tonight left Millwall Football Club by mutual consent, and he's no longer the manager of his club. We no longer get to say Rowett out because he is gone, done and dusted. No longer the manager of our football club. Adam Barrett and Paul Robinson take temporary charge of the team before a new manager is appointed, which I'm going to go and look into now, make a few phone calls and get prepped to I just looked at my phone. I thought it said Dennis Wise text me. I was like, whoa. But it wasn't. We'll wait and see tomorrow. But thanks, Ken. Thanks for tuning in, mate.
No worries.
Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. There will be more on this tomorrow. Of course, there will. I'll put an actual edited video out as well. And I'll get some information on social media about who could be coming in. But we wait with our bated breath. Exciting times, worrying times. One final word from you, Ken.
Come on, you Lions.
Oh, come on, you Lions. We say row it out. Come on, you Lions.
Thank you, Rowett. Bye-bye.